We're going to do 10 minutes of seated exercise to raise the heart rate, feel a little warmer, just start to move a little. I've deliberately chosen a chair that is quite sturdy. It's steady, it won't fall back. It has a back on it which is helpful for me to be able to rest against, and it has arms again for comfort, but they don't enclose me too much. So I've chosen my chair specifically, and we're going to sit mostly without using the chair back actually, just to really work the tummy and the back, but the back is here for support, okay? So I've warmed up, I've moved around a little bit already, all my joints and my muscles are already feeling quite warm. So we're going to start just with a little march. We're going to do 10 moves each for a minute, okay? So we're simply going to march, okay? We're going to sit tall. We're going to bring the tummy muscles in gently, not so it's uncomfortable, but just so that you feel that you're holding yourself. We're going to sit up. We're going to try and keep the back long, the neck relaxed, the shoulders relaxed, but as if we're trying to make ourselves as tall as we can in the chair, okay? So, seated exercise, I use this a lot, and it can feel like a real compromise, and I know that, I get that. But this is one way, a simple way, doing any equipment. It's a simple way of just getting back, just starting. So if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling a little bit beleaguered, if you don't know where to start, even though you may have been really active in the past, and you may get back to being really active in the future, but for now, if this is what you need, it's a really helpful little tool, okay? We're going to alternate, again, sit tall, shoulders back. We're going to lift the knee and curl the biceps. So bending the elbows. Now again, keep the back and the spine good and long. Try and still be tall. Make these moves as big as you comfortably can. Don't be surprised, by the way, if the front of your thighs tire. They will. This is kind of more demanding than it might originally look. But as I say, it is a start. If your mobility has been affected by your cancer or your cancer treatment, it's so often the treatment rather than the cancer, then this is a good thing for us to be able to do if we're worried about our balance or indeed the strength in our legs. If you feel too tired, fair enough, it happens. So we can do this as I say, just as a way to get things moving, okay? We're going to point the toes. Sorry, my foot disappears there off camera, but I'm going to point my toes and tap them on the floor in front of me. So stretching the knees out. And then at the same time, I'm going to push my hands away from me, okay? So with both legs and arms, making this a big move, if that feels okay, if it feels comfortable. Really stretching the knees out, stretching the arms out, feeling movement across the chest, feeling movement in the upper back, and actually starting to feel warm and starting to feel that the breath's getting a little deeper. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I am starting to breathe a little heavier than I was, which is all good. Okay, we keep pushing for another 10 seconds or so. And then we're going to tap the heel instead of pointing the toe, and we're going to take the arms and we're going to curl them back. So rather than curling the fist forward, we're concentrating on moving the fists backwards, feeling a squeeze on the triceps, on the backs of the arms, and with the foot flexed, so we are tapping the floor with our heels, getting a little bit more movement into the calf muscles, and still sitting up. Now if I was tiring, I could sit further back in the chair and lean in it, okay? And if you are tiring, go for it. Do whatever feels right for you for today. Don't have to compete with anybody today, just do what feels good for you. Okay. Coming up to a minute of that, and then we're going to make a big arm swing. So we're going to be here to there, okay? So let the arms cross, the hands cross in front of you, but a big, generous swing with the arms. If it feels all right to coordinate, if this feels enough, that's fine. If it feels all right to coordinate it, we will also march the feet at the same time. So I'm doing 2 taps with my feet against each 180 degree swing with my arm. Now, if you are doing this with a pick line, because you could possibly, quite reasonably actually, you could do this in a hospital chair. If you're doing this with a pick line, if this feels like too much of a movement, it shouldn't dislodge anything. But if that feels that today you don't want to do it, we make it a smaller move on the arms. Perfectly fine, just stay within what you're comfortable to do today. Otherwise, this is quite a nice way to start to challenge range of motion in the shoulders, depending on what treatment, what surgery, what radiotherapy you might have had or are going to have actually. Next one, it's here. So we're coming up onto the balls of the feet, trying to scrunch up the muscles in the lower legs, scrunch up the calf muscles. And then to match what my legs are doing, again, I'm going to sit up, I'm going to roll my shoulders back, I'm going to hold my hands above my head, and I'm going to throw. Okay? So, using the elbows, using the hands actually, let's splay the fingers. And all the while, keeping the calf muscles moving, keeping the legs moving. Okay, and then after what certainly feels like a minute to me, we then are going to go back to marching. We're going to sit tall, we're going to take the hands and we're going to bring them down and out, back in, up and out and back in. So kind of making an X shape, still holding the tummy. Still though, if you can, keep the neck relaxed. It's really tempting when we're exercising to make the neck and the shoulders tense, so you kind of scrunch up. We don't want that. We want to keep the neck muscles and the upper back nice and relaxed. We're still looking after our posture. We're still sitting tall, but without adding any tension into the body. If your legs tire before your arms, by the way, and you need to give them a rest, that's okay. Be comfortable doing this. Next one, we have 3 more to go. So this is combining legs moving in one direction and arms moving in the other, and you're going to feel a nice stretch through the ribs, hip, armpit. If you can, wriggle to the front of your chair just so you've got most clearance around any structure of the seat, and then we're going to tap our toes to one side. So you're going to feel a stretch in the inner thighs. We're going to start to rock with this tap, and we're going to take the arm over the head. So if you're tapping your left foot, you're stretching your left arm above the head, and the reverse. So what you're feeling, what we're getting is a stretch all the way down one side each time. Okay, now still don't collapse the back, still be sitting up, still be holding your tummy and your back. Good posture as much as we can. Now because this is involving, this and the last one actually, a bigger swing of the arms, so again that might increase your heart rate, it might make you feel a little more out of puff, which is cool. And again, if you're doing this with a pick line, we could just use the elbow here, we could make it a smaller move, and as I say, I would hate anybody to be uncomfortable doing this, so if for this you would rather keep your hands to your chest, absolutely fine. Okay, we're going to step both feet out, step both feet in. Both go out, both go in. Okay. From there, the arms match the feet. So out and in, and out and in. So this is a modified seated star jump. If you're feeling energetic still, we can jump it. It's easy to coordinate. Many people will tell me that this is harder on the hip flexors here and on the quads, the big muscles at the front of the thighs, but easier to coordinate than stepping. But see how you feel. However, this needs to be, as I say, for you, for today. Okay, gonna do 4 more. And then finally, for the year, finally in our 10 moves, we're going to stand up and sit down again. Really helpful move this. So, as I say, you want a good solid chair, or roll your chair back so it's against something, so it can't fall back from you. You want your feet a little way away from the chair, not tucked under you. We're going to hold the tummy, we're going to press the heels into the floor, and we're going to stand up. And we're going to sit down, okay? So, as I say, trying to hold the tummy in the back still. Sometimes what people do is they bend right forward in order to lever themselves up. And if we can, we're going to do this without asking the body to do that. But what can really help, as I say, is if you press your heel down, both heels, if you push your feet into the floor, or in my case into the carpet, if you force them down, they will help you up, okay? We can bring the hands to the sides if we need to, if we want to. And if you need to go slower than I am, again, absolutely fine, but we're going to try and keep this going for a minute. It's really helpful for getting a little bit of cardiovascular energy going, bit of exercise on the cardiovascular system. And this is also really helpful for the legs, for the lower body. Okay, 2 more. And we rest. Well done. That was 10 minutes of seated cardiovascular exercise. Very well done.